Hello, today I'm going to do, or attempt to, do a mediumistic reading on Marilyn Monroe. I did one on her before earlier, but I don't mind kind of refreshing and focusing a bit more about how, more on her personally. To be fair, I have read a fair bit to know some fairly basics that many people that she's one of my favorites. So vulnerable and so so misunderstood, and in that era, my opinion, of course, but wasn't easy for women. So gonna look at her, and I've already looked at her death, but we'll see if it comes up. For right now, I'm going to focus on her and just kind of like what she wants to say about. I'm going to hand over like I do, the forum, if you will, the platform, to her spirit, and use the cards to just play interpreter, basically. I think also sometimes, though, too, I tend to also go into more of a universal source mode for just information that comes stream of thought. So just let's get started. Okay, I've prepared my space, and just to get us in the groove, I shed worse than the cat, I think. Sorry, I thought I put this on. Okay. Now, of course, her sun was in Gemini. Her moon was in Aquarius. Her Venus was in Aries. Her Mars was in Pisces. Her Saturn was in Scorpio. Her Neptune was in Leo. And her ascendant was Leo. And her midheaven was Taurus. So she had a Gemini sun, an Aquarius moon, a Leo ascendant, and a Taurus midheaven. I'm just going to try to connect, make that long distance call, or interdimensional call, I think is probably more accurate. And I can see if she's willing to work with me. I think it's important to be respectful. So let's see. Norma Jean. Just would like to know more about you personally. Why there was this self-destructive tendency. We know that your mother was mentally unwell, but we would just like to know more about something we didn't know that might be helpful in understanding. Marilyn Monroe as a person and as an entertainer, and Norma Jean as the alter ego, as her, that's who she really was. And Marilyn Monroe was a alter ego that she used in entertainment, which many people often do. And that's why some people are surprised to read, oh, she's not like that, or he's not like that, or whatever. They're not like that. Because that's often many of us know. It's kind of what people do to kind of cope. They use that kind of that personality to entertain and to, I think, differentiate between their private life. It's when you can't differentiate between that and your private life, there can be a big problem. And maybe I'm just guessing, maybe that was part of Marilyn Monroe bleeding over into Norma Jean. But we'll see. That's just something that came to me. I never really ever thought about that much. But again, that's a gut level thing I'm sharing. Now I'm going to share with the cards. Card jumped out, and it is the Ten of Wands. So much pressure. This is a card of unbearable pressure, just a burden that's too much. I think it's saying, the card is saying, and relating, that Marilyn was saying yes. It's like she's enthusiastic. Maybe that's why it jumped out. Yes, it was too much pressure to keep up to be Marilyn Monroe 24/7, or to try to decompress from this larger-than-life persona that people had identified as her soul and not as a figure of entertainment. You know, that line gets blurred with people. And so did the expectations then of film industry, and she had a lot of issues. But I'm getting away from the cards. But first thing she wants to, I think, acknowledge was this was the major issue between acknowledging that between public and private persona, the pressure was, that's why she probably drank so much. She felt just like the weight of the world. Okay, I'm going to keep, because I was shuffling. So we want to look, and we ask Spirit, we ask Marilyn, we ask her, and Norma Jean, if she's willing to participate and help me to understand. And I ask the resource of the universe to also help in my intuition and relating accurately that which she would like to share. I wish to honor what she would like to share, if she is willing. And if not her, then the universe. So I'm just going to go with that. Kind of dialing into her energy. Okay. So what is something that we should know about her as a person? That hasn't been written about. How about that? Try. So I'm asking Spirit to share with us something that it hasn't been written about, that we should know about her. That isn't public knowledge. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay. I'm using the Haunted House Tarot. We get the Four of Cups. I read in pairs, and so this first line will be 4 cards. That's interesting. Okay. So the first card, or the first pair, is that Four of Cups and that Seven of Pentacles. Both have someone posturing. Both are kind of, one of, this posture is boredom to me. Boredom. I think also apathy, to where you're numb. Just numb. And that can just, it can be a component, of course, of depression, but also other things. And it's connected to the reconsideration. This is kind of my reconsideration, my stop and pause and reconsider, try to assess if you're lined up toward a goal that you've been working for. This is where you can pause and you look at it and you think, maybe I could do something differently, or what else do I need to do? There's like a reevaluation aspect with this Seven. It can also be about, you need to be patient and allow things that you've been tending to blossom. I think, sadly, the message might be that she had lost interest in what she was pursuing, or how she had been pursuing something. Just numb about it. Numb to the point that she's like, I feel like, whoa, I've got to stop and reevaluate something here. Because I am, where am, it's like almost like a question of where am I, shouldn't be leaning back. I'm like all relaxed, but forgetting that I'm on video. But it's like she's, notice also the hand to the face, the hand to the mouth. There's this thoughtfulness. And I don't think that what I'm getting is her not liking anymore the environment socially that she was engaged in. It was boring her. She knew something was missing in her life, and she was tired. She kind of reached, I feel like here, a plateau feeling. And she wanted change, but it's like she was considering, what do I need to do to change, so I don't feel so dead, so numb. So she was at a point of reconsidering, I'm thinking, many things. Her work, the roles that she was taking. We know that. But there was a lot of other aspects, because there are 7 pentacles here. And, excuse me, got some coffee. And she was just looking over her life, I feel like. And especially career effort. I get a real sense of displeasure with the people that she had set up shop with, or had already was tied into working with. There's just no interest. You can see that, just no interest. You won't even look at it. She's trying to think of something else that's more appealing. She can't yet see it because she's looking away from the present or was looking away from the present. If you notice, this person, though, is then looking at it with some wonder. There's an avoidance here, and then there is willing also to look at and reevaluate. So again, I do feel like that's that energy of apathy that makes you go, I just can't keep up like this. I've got to change something. And I'm not willing any longer to ignore it. She was ignoring something for quite some time with that 4 as well. And just almost like, I feel like she's saying it just wasn't aware. And it has definitely to do with people in her social circle and her work circle. It had both to do with the combination, because this is temperance, the mixture of the people that she was involved with. She wasn't happy here. And I think so she was really reconsidering a number of people. I mean, those who surrounded her, what was surrounding her. She noticed that they seemed happy, I feel like, but she wasn't. And she was thinking, I want to be happy too, I feel like. I need the correct combinations. And especially, this is a very social card, uplifting people. She felt like she did not have that in her life. When I look at this card here, she feels like she was drowning, despite this being a very social card. She didn't feel, there was a certain disconnection, I feel like, to people that she had involved herself with, work-wise and socially. And she was realizing that it was this combination that she needed to fix or change. Okay? Here we have the Magician falling under the 4 of Cups. Definitely about creative work. Here we have the Lovers falling under the 7. She was reconsidering also people. I feel like partnerships not only in business, but intimately as well. There's a feeling here, like she feels like, I feel like she was feeling like these people are taking advantage. I'm not happy. They seem like they're getting what they want at the end of the day, but she felt numb. Also, there's a sense of manipulation, but we have yet to lay out the other 2. Sorry. This is the Page of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. Connected to Temperance. So there's a new start. And then, yeah, socially. I feel like she was beginning to change who she was going to be working with and looking at that and who she involved herself with. And this line looks in particularly like a male that where there was a relatively new maybe beginning, that she had met him socially perhaps at some sort of event or celebration. This isn't a very earthy card. It indicates a man that is fond of sex, drugs, rock and roll sometimes, but also definitely the physical gratification of the senses, creature comforts, very, very, yeah, very physically oriented person, someone of the senses. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just describes, and I think adequately, something that was going on here with, and I'm not quite sure who that is right now, and I'm not going to worry about it for right now. I'll look, I know what JFK was, a Leo or something, but this is a man that was, it looks like some new beginning with him. Maybe wanting to meet someone here. I'm thinking she wanted to meet them and may have been trying to arrange something. This may have been another man that she was looking at after, maybe after the Kennedys. There may have been another male that we're not aware of that had caught her eye. But she was looking at really changing up I feel like the type of work she was going to do and who with, and that extending into relationships, intimate who with. I feel like she felt like she'd been manipulated in relationships here. I don't know. Is this the one? Oh, there's Miller. Is it Henry Miller? I'm not sure. Again, this though feels like maybe somebody that she had a new beginning, somebody that we may not have been aware of. Yeah. Like in a social circle. But there's Peter Lawford. I'm feeling this could be Peter Lawford for some reason. Okay, I'm just going to accept that and continue. There's secrets here, she's indicating. And this looks like blackmail, frankly. When I go, I'm sorry, Four of Cups, kind of a numb, apathetic feeling, bored, but not just bored, it's numb and apathetic, and there's feeling like you want to take action. Here, there's a feeling like you can't do anything about it, you have to wait. Here, there's, with the Magician, there's taking action, and it's a secretive action. Okay. When we go down the next row, we have her with the contemplation and reevaluation of relationships and partnerships, both intimate, I feel like, and work-wise. There's a new offer that was coming in. Either this could be maybe both work and pleasure. I feel connected to this King of Pentacles. But anyway, may not be Lawford. Summoning. Okay, so this was someone she was calling on. This was a new contact. And I feel like it was a part of the social circle she wanted to break into. Realizing that she she was going to reinvent herself again. I feel like these were things that she was wanting and fully planning to do at the time of her, around her demise. there's great sorrow and loss here. And if we read that last line horizontally, we get a secretive offer or approach. And that can mean someone's contacting you some way, can be phone or otherwise. We get another, this is a summoning card. It is also can be connected to work and a new project that I think she was keen to get part of. But here, there's some kind of deep, deep sorrow with regard and being shown to work, an effort that she put into work that she feels like was a waste or a loss. And in connection to perhaps working with this man right here. She wanted to work with him, I feel like. That's maybe she felt compelled to try to work with him because she felt like the work that she'd done in the past she wasn't proud enough of or wanted. There's definitely a sense of loss there. I'm going to pull a couple extra cards. Something very quickly with that Knight of Swords. Yes, this is the shady stuff. She was being surveilled. She was being bugged. And I feel like this is by powerful sources. Sure, FBI. That's what it feels like, to be honest. Like Secret Service, you know, the type that don't play. With that Knight especially, they act quickly. So I feel like they were listening to her phone calls that night. Not just that night, but collectively. And there was something that it seems like made them feel like they needed to act. It's like they're waiting to act. This is that ambush and surveillance type of card. But yes, there's some clarity, a decision with regard to her. That she had to go. Here she is. I feel like that's her. This Empress, this beautiful woman, this just had so much yet that she could give. She needed help though. And I think she just got it. I'm being shown that she got in over her head. Yeah. Here's an assassination. That was not suicide. She was betrayed. And these are things that may have been taken. I feel like they were looking for something. I know the old thing about her book or date book or some such thing. And that's legitimate. It did go missing. But I feel like there was more than that. I believe that they went there, that she had something in her possession, and this definitely feels like they were listening in. She was going to be changing up the types of people she was going to be hanging around. And I feel that she wanted to kind of reinvent herself And she may have made a threat. She may have made a threat there. Here that, maybe she tried in her own defense to say, if anything happens to me, information will be published. And maybe she just, I don't know, maybe she just didn't get it secreted away, or maybe it was found. I'm not sure. They went to her place looking for something, though. Looking, to act, I feel like, upon some sort of a assassination order, to be blunt, and to seize any incriminating, but there's something specific, it looks like there. And this is her, like, taken by surprise. I believe they were listening in on her phone calls, and they decided, it's like they were just waiting for her to say certain things, and they were going to act. That's what I'm feeling like. So she was wanting to, I guess, speak to the end of her life there. Now, I'm going to see if I can't focus and get a little bit on her destructive element, the self-destructive element. So what made her so self-destructive? I want to look at her. And thank you for the information. There's a pressure that made her so unhappy again. She's telling me that with that Ten of Wands, it was the pressure that the studios and the combination of society, people that she was working with, directors, so on and so forth, the type of roles, and how it was affecting her personal life. She didn't want it anymore. And she'd had enough. It was depressing her, and she wanted to change. She felt like everybody else was happy, again, but her. And she wanted to change that. She wanted to be around people that didn't make her feel bad about herself. So I think she drank, and that self-destructive aspect is connected to the types that, for one thing, the era was very suppressive, and she did very well to break a lot of stupid rules that were in place with regard to racism and within regard to other aspects, and it wasn't easy. So she was up against a system that was not going to honor her individuality as an artist. They were going to limit it, and that was very frustrating. I think that's why a lot of them drink. But let's just see here. This is about, we're looking at a point of expansion in her life. And she wanted a family. She wanted that. She wanted to have a career and a family. To be more of a modern woman, I'm getting. Not just settle for one aspect. She needed to be able to be her creative, artistic self and as a career, but she also were being shown, I feel like when she was beginning very young, I feel like to start to take off, I'm being shown she really wanted the picket fence, the whole 9 yards. And she did. I'm aware that she said that. Shows up that, oh Lord, we get the devil and we get judgment. enslaved and oppressed, to I feel like outdated, antiquated ideas about her own freedom to live that kind of way. I think that the role of women, I know part of her problem with Joe DiMaggio being very typical man of his era and very San Francisco Italian Catholic. He wanted and expected at that time a wife at home, and that was totally different than what is now. That is much more, of course, repressive, as many of us know. So this was not going to work out because of the era, her own nature, and indeed the people that she was surrounded by with socially and at work in her life. And there's a consequence to that. You get addicted. You pay more attention to the negative voice in your head also, and you hear it more than your own esteem that you've worked so hard to build up. And here she was beginning to branch out, I feel like, and beginning to flourish, but I feel like somebody just crushed those dreams. And I think it wasn't just one person or another. I think it was the studios. I think I'm getting the feeling it was because of what she showed earlier, the men that she was dating, and the friends that she had, and society, to be honest. And it made her really desperately unhappy. It made her feel very stressed. And, you know, I feel like the negative cycle then kicked in because she was not able to... I think had she been born, you know, later, she would have had a little, I think, better success with getting more, you know, roles perhaps, but maybe not so much. I mean, we still got a long way to go. But that's very oppressive. And it was a very impressive environment for her, apparently all the way around, and I believe it. And it led to consequences. I feel like you're gonna, when you can't, it's just heartbreaking. I think her, you know, and just trying to also struggle with the criticism, the jealousy, and the invalid jealousy criticism that people were throwing at her, and the expectations were just too much. And she just wanted out from that. But did she kill herself? No, doesn't look like it. It does look like part of that negative that she ended up getting caught up with here, and that oppressiveness and that dangerousness was the very people that she was involved with or had been involved with. And yes, that means the Kennedys, that means the mafioso connections that means all those people. That was very much how people need to, read up on Hollywood too. That was very much part of Hollywood. And this is the strength card. This has to do with self-esteem and believing in herself. Again, and overcoming, I think she really got treated pretty roughly in some cases here, with the lion that typically is here. I feel like there was a lot of intimidation that she endured. And so she had to figure out how to, as she was trying to get her career to expand and to try to follow her dreams, she was trying to figure out, how to work with these people so that she was asking for help, I feel like, too, so they didn't eat her for breakfast. Trying to get strong enough within herself. And she did do a lot of self-help work. She was trying to, the problem was the therapy, and the therapist was, I think, flawed. He was a real creep. But we are shown her here trying to work on her and trying to seek help. And she definitely did, to try to get that inner strength so that she wasn't caught in this dynamic. She was trying to actively correct what was going on in her life. But she was very much stuck with society not being ready for someone quite like her. Yeah, and I feel like this is where the murder, I think, comes into place. Yeah, she was in bed no less, and making it look like a suicide. And she was also calling, I think, and asking in a way for help, support. She was trying to, I feel like, she was trying to do things to break out of the way she'd been living, which is very interesting. Now, I've gone way too long on this, but I hope that is helpful. Please look at the other reading I did. It's under the Mediumistic Reads for Marilyn Monroe. This will be Marilyn Monroe Part 2. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you appreciated this content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.